Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mel. I grew up playing outside.
And I grew up doing something meaningful, watching movies and TV.
I never had cable, and we finally bought a VCR about the same time DVD players hit the market.
Throughout our marriage, Mel has sadly missed many of my pop culture references and movie quotes.
So it's time to catch up on all the films I missed.
Good evening.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Mel. How are you this evening?
I'm good, Nick.
Wow, we are aggressive tonight. You are spicy. Do I need to put some hot sauce next to you, or
I'm spicy all on my own.
That's true. That's true. You are. Do you know what we're watching tonight?
I have no idea.
It's funny you say that because I didn't. No, I always know. I had a plan for tonight.
Yes.
And I am trying to figure out how to get my VCR to hook up to our projector so I can watch certain movies that I have on VHS. Yes, I said VHS. If you are unfamiliar with this technology, it's fairly Googleable, so have fun with that. But anyway, that was not working tonight. I literally tried. I dusted off my projector that was like 15 years old and tried to hook it up to the VCR and no go. So I need more modern technology to get the old technology to work. All that is to say, the movie that I had as a backup, I've literally had this movie in my back pocket for at least 30 episodes.
Whoa.
In case something went wrong, if the internet went down, if anything happened, I had this movie sitting in my back pocket.
What movie is it? What's the backup?
It is called a film called The Saint.
The Saint.
Have you ever heard of this film?
I've heard of this film.
What do you know about it?
So I think it has a really good soundtrack. I think my brother bought the soundtrack for this movie, and it has Val Kilmer in it because I've seen the CD cover.
Okay.
More older technology.
Sure.
And yeah, I don't remember what songs are on the soundtrack, but we liked it. It was good.
Okay.
That's all I know. I never saw the actual movie.
You don't know anything about the movie at all?
No.
Nothing?
No, nothing.
Can you even recall go into your mind palace and picture the CD?
I'm in it. I'm in the mind palace.
Right.
I can picture the CD.
Okay.
I think it has Val Kilmer's like face and it's blue.
Blue, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there dust on the furniture in the mind palace? Have you cleaned it in a while?
It's always clean. It's a mind palace.
Okay, sorry.
It's pristine. Thank you very much.
My mistake. Okay, so Val Kilmer, there's blueness. Anything else? Do you want to guess anything about the plot about this movie?
I think there's like techno.
Techno? Okay.
On the CD. Oh my gosh. I think I could be totally off. No, but that makes sense if my brother liked it.
Sure.
And I don't know. Is it a heist movie?
Heist movie?
When I think of techno, I think heist.
Okay. So,
I don't know.
All right. So it's a...
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Starring Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a heist movie.
Yes.
What do you think they're going to try and steal?
I don't know.
Okay.
Moby.
Well, I was going to say Val Kilmer is probably going to try to steal someone's heart. But, okay. What are you excited about or dreading about the experience we're about to behold?
Oh, I'm so excited because I always wanted to see it.
Okay.
And I'm excited to see Val Kilmer. He's just awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see who else is in the film and to hear the soundtrack again. Yes.
This is going to be a really interesting one for you because like music from different times in your life really triggers stuff. So
for sure.
It'll be interesting to talk about this. Okay. So I need you to make up a movie poster for me and a tagline and then we can go check it out.
Okay. I'm dreading that it might not be good. Maybe it's a B movie. I don't know.
A B movie. Okay.
It was your backup. So
that's true.
Why wasn't it on the A-list?
Well, it happens.
Okay, so movie poster.
Yeah. What's the movie poster?
There's so much drama.
So much drama.
I don't know. Okay, he's called the Saint.
Yeah, he's the Saint.
I don't know.
Please tell me why he's called the Saint. Why do you think he's called the Saint?
I don't know. Is it like a cover?
A cover?
Like maybe he.
Oh, because it's ice.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
So he maybe it's some sort of disguise or whatever.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. Collection. He's taking collection.
Okay. That's a good tagline. I like that.
Okay. Thanks.
Great. And
movie poster.
Movie poster.
I just keep picturing the CD cover.
I mean, that's perfectly valid. That's probably pretty accurate.
With him, but then he's wearing like a cross.
A cross, okay.
On a chain around his neck. So that's that. And it's like shades of blue.
All
like
right.
a blue filter.
All right. Well, let's go check it out.
Let's do this. Woo!
A man without a name can never be identified.
We've got a handful of false identities used on visas, passports.
My name is Bruno Rautenfaust.
Ivan Ivanovich.
I'm Tony St. Hubbins.
A man who doesn't exist can never be caught.
I've been chasing him for nearly 2 years. He eluded a hit squad this morning in Holland Park.
A man who doesn't love can never truly be alive.
This woman has discovered something that will revolutionize the world.
It's a formula for creating energy.
You will steal it for me.
How did you do that?
Magic. When we master this technology, then we dictate terms to the West.
Give it up! You got no place to go!
I escaped. I always escape.
Paramount Pictures presents
Nicholas Owen, Louis Guanella, Peter Damien.
All the names of Catholic saints.
a story about betrayal,
You've got to get away from me.
I'm not going anywhere until you tell me why you lied to me.
You don't know what you're dealing with here.
redemption,
I can't trust anybody. I never have.
and destiny.
Kill him and bring her alive. If you want to live, never leave my side.
From the director of Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games.
The army must be mobilized.
The balance of power is about to shift.
Val Kilmer,
Tell me you love me.
Elizabeth Shue,
Who are you?
The Saint.
You want to go get some coffee or something?
Yes. I don't know what to say.
We're going to be talking about this podcast. Hopefully it's not boring.
You've been talking like this pretty much ever since we saw the movie.
This is true. I cannot help it. After I've seen this film, I start talking like this.
I can see why.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, you just saw The Saint.
I know.
Yes.
Wow.
What did what did you think? What's going through that beautiful mind of yours?
I got to check a really great box. Like, wow, I always wanted to see it. It was fun. It was a romp.
Yes.
No, it was a little more serious than that. Because it was a lot of romping in Russia.
I mean, it was that's a t-shirt if I've ever heard one. It was a romp. I would say he was always playful, like the stakes were high and everything.
Mhm.
He's kind of very Spider-Man-esque.
Mm.
Spider-Man is like fighting foes, literally can be killed at any moment, but he's like quipping and having fun with what he's doing. It's kind of the vibe you get.
Yeah, it felt very Mission Impossible to me.
Mm.
With the technology and like the how's he gonna make it out sort of vibe.
Mm-hmm,
And all the gadgets.
It's all the more impressive though, besides Mission Impossible, because it's just him.
Yes, there's no government behind him.
No team, not
backing
even
him.
Yeah, not even like his redacted people to help him or anything. Just him.
Yeah.
Which is he's kind of schizophrenic. That's how he gets through it. He's just all these different people and he just imbues those people.
I was surprised. Okay, I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I
It
feel
was
a caveat coming.
No,
Oh,
no
okay.
caveat. No buts. Like it was
All right.
great.
All right.
Val Kilmer is a treasure. He is a treasure.
I agree with you.
And all the casting was awesome. The two bad guys,
Mm-hmm.
they're really interesting on their own, like, and they're really good. And then the love interest,
The
the
father
doctor.
and son, right? Is that the two you're talking about? Okay,
Yeah.
Mhm.
The father and son and their glorious hair.
Their glorious hair. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize. I think I did realize when I watched it. The hair on the son he's like a conditioner commercial.
That's like
throughout
what
a
we
lot of
talked
it.
about the whole movie.
Yeah,
was
we
his
really
hair.
did. We really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's way more impressive, for the record, than Brad Pitt's hair in World War Z. Just throwing that out there. Sorry, Brad Pitt.
They're in the same level, but
okay.
I don't think anything tops Brad Pitt's hair in World War Z.
That breaks my brain. I mean, I am the first to admit Brad Pitt has amazing hair a lot of the time. But World War Z, he's not supposed to have amazing hair, and he doesn't. It's part of his character. So anyway, I'm not going to get off on a tangent.
I just feel like jealousy is shading your judgment here.
No, jealousy is shading my judgment of the character in this movie's hair, because I'm like, wow, man, can I make my hair do that?
What product do you use? Is it Russian?
What is going on with that hair? Anyway, we should probably talk about the plot. Can you give us a quick summary?
Yeah, sure. What I was going to say earlier was that I was surprised at where the movie began.
Right.
So it begins with like the early life of this boy, and he's like in a Catholic orphanage or something. And it's so sad. Like he gets in trouble because he won't say his name.
Yeah,
they gave him a saint's name.
Yeah, all the kids are named after saints.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to have that name. So.
And the headmaster is cruel.
Yeah.
And so he refuses to say it. And the headmaster's like, fine, no one gets dinner. And you can sit right there. And I'm like, that is like you when you were a boy.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to finish your food. And your mom was like, fine, you can sit here. And then I think you fell asleep at the table.
Yeah.
So this kid, he sits there.
Literally, I did, yes.
Yes.
I very much, this had a deep connection for me.
I can see why.
This movie, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that and the hair.
Oh, yeah.
So this kid, he waits until like the father's gone and like everything's died down. And they brought the food out and they locked it up.
So they could just watch it.
Yeah. Just torturing these little kids. And so he has like this cool little gadget, and he picks the lock and he opens it up, and all the boys are like, yay, we get to eat. So they get to eat.
They go free the girls who'd been locked in their rooms.
Yeah, the girls were like locked in their dorm without dinner. So they're like, we have to bring food to the girls. So they do that. And there's this really touching thing where he's like on the other side of this balcony, suspended over, I don't know, 2 stories maybe.
Yeah.
And they get caught. The kids are running back. And the girl that he kind of likes, they're like joking about kissing, which they're way too young for this.
Oh, yeah.
And she falls off the balcony and she dies.
Because the headmaster released the dogs on them, and the dogs knocked her over the edge. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's like his memory. And then it like flashes forward to where that boy ended up. And he is a modern day thief.
International man of mystery.
Yes. He has any number of disguises. He can become anyone, anywhere. He has passports and like lock boxes hidden all over with his wigs and his mustaches. So he's doing his thing, and he has like, he wants to get to 50 million. That's like his, if he has that much money in the bank, he's out and he's going to stop doing all the bad stuff.
I think in 90s, I think that's like 100 million now, because this was in the 90s. In my head, I just picture 50 million being like 100 million now. But anyway, I would take either for the record. But
so what is this? Oh, the final thing he has to steal.
Yeah.
He gets hired. So in Russia, oh my gosh, there's so much. There's like this political stuff. There's a president, but then there's this other guy rising in power, and he has really good looking hair too. And his
not
son
as good as his son's.
has amazing hair.
Yeah.
But he's trying to make a play for the seat.
I bet
power.
I bet the dad totally intentionally picked the mom based on her hair, because he's like, I know my son will have wonderful hair. We will rule this country with luscious locks.
That's exactly, I'm sure, what happened.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
In fact, that's probably the backstory the director gave him.
It could be. I can't wait to see the prequel on this movie.
Do you want?
No, please. I'm done. A hair diatribe is paused.
Okay.
I'll probably bring up more later, but go ahead.
So, meanwhile, there's this woman in America. She's a doctor, and she is close to having the formula, or has the formula for cold fusion, a source of energy. And this was like the hope of the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
That there would be this energy source that everyone could have that would not have any emissions. And it would be clean, free energy. And she has it. He has to steal it. But
to give to the Russians.
Enter the meet cute.
Wow. I always think of like a piece of meat when you say that. But yes, talk about the meat cute, your new favorite phrase.
It's actually my old favorite phrase.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
like so 2 months ago.
It's so 2 months ago.
Anyway, how do they meet?
He's sketching. He does what everybody does. When
He
you really
researches
care about
her.
someone, you research someone, stalk them,
Yeah.
break into their apartment, learn about them, and then custom tailor a character based on their father
Yes.
and her passions and her inner diary private thoughts.
Yes.
And then you clandestine create a meeting point where she would stumble upon you.
Yes, that's exactly what he did.
That's exactly how we met in college.
Interesting. We'll talk about that later. So his way of meeting her is he's like waiting
Yeah.
and posing, sort of. Well, I mean, yeah, he's an artist with long hair.
Yes.
And
He's South African too.
Yeah. So he like actually learned that accent
Yeah.
from a real person from South Africa.
Nice.
Yeah. So she sees him and she's interested. I was gonna say something.
Sorry.
Shoot, I don't remember.
That's one of my. I love when he's talking as a South African. It's some of my favorite quotes in the movie. Yeah.
They actually met before that because he like disguised himself as like a
The
kind of
nerdy journalist.
older guy
Yeah.
with like big teeth, and he was sitting behind
Balding.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He already had talked to her.
Yeah.
Anyway, she totally falls for it. But then he has like a crisis of conscience. Like, he likes her. Should he steal this? And yada yada.
Mhm.
And then he ends up having to do it because they're going to kill her anyway and just
Yeah.
take it. So
Yeah.
things go crazy. She's kind of on the lam with him. They're like in Russia. At one point, she's like going after him because she learns the truth.
Mhm.
And she's like, I'm going to turn you in anyway, you little phony person.
Rapscallion, you little phony person. Actually, when she confronts him, it actually reminds me a lot of how you would confront someone.
I know. I'm so good at insults.
You man, you. Oh, good stuff.
This is a long summary, but
It is.
they
What
end up
happened?
like winning, right? Like,
Yeah.
even though the original movie, she was going to die.
She was going to die.
They
in the
were going to
original?
have her die in the original movie,
What?
and they
In the original
rewrote the
script?
ending.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was she going to die of?
One of the Russian guys was going to like stab her in the leg with
Poison?
like a poisoned cane. His cane.
What?
Because that was a
Yeah,
big thing in the movie,
his
that
cane,
the
yeah,
son had this cane, and that's how
Yeah.
you knew he was coming.
Yeah. It's probably why I bought a cane in the 90s too, actually, now that I think about it.
You bought a cane?
Who wouldn't buy a cane in the 90s after seeing this film?
Someone who could walk without the help of a cane?
It's
I don't
stylish.
know.
This man could run.
He could.
run very fast. And he had fashionable hair. I digress. No.
I know what you're going to be for Halloween
Back
this
to-
year.
Actually, that's a great idea. And it would give me an excuse to buy the cane.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Okay. So she
Okay.
was going to die originally. I did not know that.
Yes, she was. And
Wow.
then they did a test screening and everyone hated it. They're like, no,
Yeah.
she can't die. And it was like 3/4 of the way through. And the rest of the movie was going to be him kind of like avenging
Ooh.
her death and like,
Wow. Making
Yeah.
things right and all that.
yeah,
Interesting.
this is a way better ending.
Yeah, I agree. I like the whole wrap up of the performing miracles, like doing that thematic thing. I like that.
What do you mean?
Well, he ticks through. He identifies, become
right.
a saint, you have to perform 3 miracles.
Right.
And so he has like different things he classifies as miracles. And yeah, I think the first one was getting the cold fusion to work. The second one was the bad guys getting caught. And the third one was her falling in love with him.
And it all happened.
It all happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that was a lot. So you liked this film, correct?
I really did. I loved it.
I did
loved
too.
it. It
Like,
was very fun.
it was a very formative time for me. We were talking about this during the film when I was trying not to be distracted. I have a DVD of this, which your movie poster was spot on with the DVD menu. It's Val Kilmer,
I know.
just his head with the blue. So good
Well-
on you for your memory.
Yeah, thank you. That was
Mhm.
all due to the soundtrack,
Yes.
as I've already said.
Shout out to your brother, yeah. So this movie though was the 90s, and there was such a great run of film in the 90s. Like there was just a lot of fun action and just fun energy movies. I really enjoyed 90s movies as well. I know we usually watch 80s movies, but I like to dip in every once in a while to the 90s too.
I'm glad you do. It keeps me going because
Yeah.
I love all the films that we've watched from the 90s.
This one though, like I had so many quotes that I regularly do with my friends from this movie. The one was the German guy. That's a very frequent one that's fun. And the one where when he's Sir Thomas More and he, not Sir Thomas More, sorry, Thomas More, he's a saint. I'm thinking of Sir Roger Moore,
Right.
who is the saint from the TV show.
Yes.
And has a cameo at the end. He does the voiceover. Anyway, when he's Thomas More has a South African accent, and he falls and he like cuts his forehead to like do that. Like just the way he talked was hilarious. Like, I was weeping, thus slipped. I was thinking of you. Like, it's so over the top.
It is.
And yeah, that's the most unrealistic thing about this movie for me. I want to talk about the most unrealistic thing. I like to do that in movies like this. Most unrealistic thing about this movie for me is the fact that Elizabeth Shue's character fell in love with him. The poet South African guy.
See, that's why her casting is so good, though, because I believe it. She has this like hopeful joy, this joyfulness to her, and like she's also very breathy.
That's true. She is,
and like so you can see that she's smart, right? She's extremely intelligent.
Yeah,
but that hasn't dampened any of her creativity or
passion
her
and art
imagination and her love of imagination.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, he was such a caricature that it's just crazy to think about someone that smart could fall for that, and that would be their. Yes, that feels unrealistic. Do you have a most unrealistic part of this film?
My mind first goes back to the beginning when he's breaking into the. It's like a microchip place in Russia. Yeah, he's getting a microchip. That's how he kind of like gets to know the Russians actually, and why they hire him.
Steals from them, yeah.
Yeah. So he's breaking in, and there's like this big speech going on.
Yeah.
And the son leaves the room
to powder his nose.
Yes. To put it politely.
Yes.
And he sees an open window.
Yes.
And then he's like on high alert, like, oh no, the window. I don't know. Yes. That to me was unbelievable. Like, really? That's all you see. But it was the winter, and they had no heating, like no fuel. Yeah. They were running out of fuel. So maybe that explains it.
I think he just sensed it with his hair, because his hair could like feel the disturbance in the wind, and that just put him on high alert. He could feel the air currents going around the building and sense that something was up.
Oh, brother.
The
other unrealistic part for me is that he falls into the river.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Yes.
And he survives the hypothermia. And that to me, it's instant death. If you fall into water.
Yes.
And it's like below freezing, you're to die.
You're just dead. Instantly dead. Fall over dead. Yeah, you had the same reaction during Cliffhanger when Stallone fell through. You're like, the movie's over. He just fell into the mountain ice water.
So I was looking up trivia about this movie, and I was giggling because so many actors, so many men were offered this role and turned it down.
Really?
Like, it's crazy. Kenneth Branagh, George Clooney, Kevin Costner, Johnny Depp, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Can you imagine?
Did you say Daniel Day-Lewis?
I did.
I cannot even. I want to see.
Who is that?
I want to see the greatest actor of his generation. He played Lincoln in the Lincoln movie.
Oh, you always say that for me.
He's won an Oscar. Like, he's like a deep method character actor. Like, he like goes in and pretend he is that person.
Okay.
Like, when he was Lincoln, you were talking to him and he was like answering his Lincoln. Like,
cool.
He doesn't break character.
Also Mel Gibson, but he had just finished doing Braveheart, and he was like, I need to go home. I've been away from home way too long during that. Ralph Fiennes, like just everybody.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant, another.
Okay. I really want to see this movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. I'd like
only if Danny DeVito's by his side pronouncing all the words correctly for him.
Seeing him do all the different accents and stuff would have been hilarious. That would have been amazing. And just seeing him try to fit into, like, the whole purpose of the Saint is he blends in.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's just body type does not blend in. Like, it's impossible. Wow. That's hilarious.
So, in watching it, like, were there things that you didn't remember correctly or that were different from how you remembered it?
I don't think I don't think I misremembered anything. No, because I watched this movie a lot. I mean, this is probably my 6th time seeing it. I'm guessing something. I watched it a lot in the 90s. I always enjoyed it. Yeah, there's nothing I misremembered. I do love though, like it's the generation I am. Whenever I see a good old fashioned Cold War-esque plot, it like plugs into like my lizard brain from when I was a kid and the Cold War was still happening. And anyway, it's like it's a guilty pleasure for me. Like Red Dawn is another example of a guilty pleasure movie for me. So this like is a fun adventure movie, but it also taps into that guilty pleasure, imagining post Cold War era type thing, which is what I enjoyed about it. Speaking of the actors though, for this movie, I like forgot, if I knew this, I forgot, but this has a super low Rotten Tomatoes score, and other people apparently did not like this movie on the internets.
Really?
Yes. Val Kilmer was nominated he got a Razzie nomination for lead actor. And do you know what Razzies are?
No, it's not good, is it?
It's the opposite of the Oscars. It's like the worst performances of the year.
Oh,
and
man.
he got a nomination for the worst performance of a leading actor in a film for this, but he didn't win.
Okay.
Well, or lose, whichever you do for that. The winner, though, was Kevin Costner for The Postman. Which is also another movie I love. So I'm like, what are these Razzie people? I really want to look at the movies from this year and be like, come on, seriously? So anyway.
So did it not do well in the box office?
I don't remember. I don't recall it doing poorly.
Did you see it in the theater? Did you already say that?
I saw it in theaters at least one time.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw it more than that though. I don't remember what the box office haul was. Sorry. Oh wait. I mean, actually no, it didn't do well. The budget was $68 million.
Oh wow.
That's a big budget.
Yeah.
And its gross in the US was $61 million, which is not good. But worldwide it made 118, so it recouped its money, but a lot of times in order for a movie to really be successful, it's got to like double what it costs. So
part of the filming, they was in a library and they closed the library down, and it was like it was just before exam times, and so the students were really angry, like upset that like we have to study for exams and now you're filming a movie and you closed our library down.
Wow.
A lot of it, I was surprised at how much takes place in Russia. Like they can't seem to get out of that country and they keep coming back to it. But it was like the political intrigue of it was really interesting. I enjoyed that aspect of it too. So it wasn't just, it was more than a Mission Impossible. Like it was more, I don't know, something like altruistic, like trying to deliver like free, clean energy to people who need it.
Mission Impossible is just the world is going to end. Or a lot of people are going to die, typically. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually. So it was different than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the hair? I need to come back to the hair. What was the best hair in the film?
I haven't commented on it enough for you.
I'm just curious if you agree. I think the son had the best hair in the movie.
It's really between the son and the dad. I liked the dad's hair a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a little less floofy.
It was less floofy. That's true.
It was Aragorn hair.
Wow. Okay. That's a very specific call there. Okay.
Like it's the same color.
I should probably be happy about this because I'm closer to the dad's age probably than I am to the son's age. So I should be happy that you prefer the older hair. So yeah, I'm going to take the win on that.
Okay.
What if you were the saint, what character would you have? Like name a character you would do, like you would make up.
I don't know any, like
you don't have to pick an actual saint. I'm just saying like pick a character though. Like, for your undercover when you assume another identity.
Okay.
I have one for you I really want to do.
I mean, I'd be a great librarian.
Okay.
Also like soccer mom. I think I could pull that off really well.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That is genius.
But then because we're talking about saints and the church, Sister Mary from The Sound of Music.
I thought when you said that, Maria, that's Maria.
Oh, Maria. Oh, I knew I was going to get it wrong.
When you said Mary, I rightfully thought Sister Act, because that's Sister Mary, whatever, I don't remember.
My other favorite nun movie.
Picturing you as Whoopi Goldberg. How does that work? Okay.
Yeah.
I really wanted you to do your Pippin accent and just have like a weird amalgamous Irish Scottish accent. And
I would never get away with talking to someone in accent. I can't keep it. I can't keep an accent for more than 2 phrases or whatever. So
okay.
Or maybe not even more than 1.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So it would always be. I don't think I would change up my accent.
Nice. I would be an over the top. Probably a Russian guy, I think. I'd have a Russian guy who's just big and bombastic and over the top, who makes so much noise that you don't notice him and you dismiss him. That would be one of my characters.
The best thing about when they were filming in Russia was like all he had to do to blend in was like throw on a big coat and a furry hat.
Yeah,
and he did that several times.
That's true,
and it worked every time.
So, what, if any, messages do you think were in this film?
Before we get to that, there was one more trivia thing that I found really interesting.
Please.
You know the phone that he used?
Yeah. Well,
it's like a Nokia, and Nokia. It had like the keypad and
flipped
everything.
Open. Yeah, horizontally. Yeah.
That was like cutting edge tech of the time.
Yeah.
And the director, someone on set had it, and the director thought it was a prop, that it had been made for the character. And then he was like, when he found out that it was a real phone, he was like, oh, that's what Templar's going to use for sure. That's his phone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember when those came out, like just the concept of the cell phone that opened like that. And we had one. It was awesome. It's such a different feeling. And this is very much like the BlackBerry movie. It's like the sensation of clicking on a keyboard, which you don't really get anymore. But it was really satisfying.
I loved that phone.
It's very grounded in, I did too. It's very grounded in a specific time and place. It reminds me of like the ring of an old phone from like the 80s or the 70s, how that was, or the clicking of different knobs and buttons from the 40s and 50s and different technology, like on radios, the ka-chunk, clicking them. Anyway, very much felt like that phone.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway.
Okay, so message.
Yes, message.
I don't know. You can go first. You've had many years to think about this movie.
The message of this film is, man, wear your crazy out. Just wear your crazy out, and eventually you'll find the person that's right for you, because that's what the saint did.
It's interesting, like you get the backstory, but you don't really know why he turned to theft. Like he could have gone any way. Like he could have become just a super, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't have to be.
That's true.
Thievery.
That's true. Like I think they established the early scenes established just bucking the system, not wanting to engage with the structure that's around him and wanting to do his own thing, which very much goes into thieving, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's something about their relationship where she keeps asking, like, who are you really? And she didn't give up on like asking him who he was. Yeah. And I don't even know if he ever said his real name to her.
He did. He said Simon the Magician. That's his real name.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He did say that. I don't know.
It was like buried amongst all the things.
I think it's more about doing the right thing. Like, and maybe it just took him like being in love with her to see what the right thing was. But instead of like, keeping the formula to cold fusion and selling it to the highest bidder, he saw that it was actually better to like give it away and let the people have it, because that was what was needed and was good.
Okay. I thought of another message.
Yeah, go for it.
If you ever fall into a frozen river, immediately get the person out of the water, strip your clothes off, and just jump on top of them.
That also was probably the most unlikely scenario.
Yeah. Actually, it was more unlikely that none of the Russians would have narked on them until like way after they were in that building. But anyway.
That was almost like a Hallmark moment where it's like too convenient.
Yeah.
But
I know. Anywho.
It was this was really fun to watch.
It was a fun romp. Good soundtrack too. Check it out on Spotify or wherever you listen to the things, but it's a great 90s throwback soundtrack.
Yes. Okay. So it has Moby, Daft Punk, Underworld,
Yeah.
Duran Duran, David Bowie.
Mhm.
Duncan Sheik, do you remember him?
Yes.
And Sneaker Pimps, that song that they do in this movie is awesome. And then other bands that I don't remember. Oh, Luscious Jackson. Oh my gosh!
What?
Luscious Jackson!
I don't remember who Luscious Jackson is.
Okay, well, I'll play it for you later.
Okay.
You'll recognize them.
All right. Well, all right.
That was a lot of fun, and that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Tell us what you think of this film in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.